It's time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Hello! Hello? Who is it? We are from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Whose castle is this? This is the castle of Donald J. Trump. This is Castle Mar-a-Lago. Go and tell your master that we have a warrant for his immediate arrest. He must ride with us to New York to be fingerprinted and charged. Well, I'll ask him, but I don't think he'll be too keen. He is, playing golf, you see. What? He said he's playing golf. Are you sure he's playing golf? Oh, yes, quite sure, thank you. I told them he's playing golf. Well, can we come up and wait inside? No, of course not. You are New York types. If you do not open the gates, we shall take your castle by force. You don't frighten us, Manhattan the pig dogs. Go and boil your bottom, the son of a silly person. I'll blow my nose at you, so-called district attorney. If you do not agree to my commands, then I shall take... Jesus Christ!
That's messed up, dude. But anyway, welcome. It is Friday. We're going to watch some silly Kniggets. Yeah, I'm a Monty Python fan. It's true. But I just saw some interesting news, and I posted on my personal page that Marvel's Star's lawyer, that is the lawyer for Jonathan Majors, reveals bombshell text that could blow up domestic violence trial. So once again, this is something common you'll see in court cases where they, before they get into the courtroom, they put it to the court of public appeal, popularity, all of that, appeals, everything, just to try the case in public. And it's messed up, but it can be bad. But this is a situation where it can force the district attorneys to stop what they're doing because they realize, yeah, this is not going to be good for us. It's not going to look good. So
well,
what do you guys think of that?
I still maintain that there's hypocrisy on the whole thing because Justin Roiland was canned immediately with no...
Well, that was a power play. I talked about that last time.
Yeah.
That was a power play by Adult Swim Cartoon Network to take control of Rick and Morty away from him. And they didn't care that they're losing their main talent. They didn't care.
Yeah. Well, and how many other
control of it?
How many others have been canceled out of hand, and you find out that the charges?
Oh, we know that this happened ridiculous amount of times. It's just ridiculous how often they do that shit. So yeah, look, he's preaching to the choir here with me. I see that stuff. We've been against Me Too and the whole cancel culture from the very beginning. I don't like it when I see people that agree with us doing it to the other side. It's like, look, you either stop doing that shit or your criticism is moot. I don't cancel other people. I don't believe in that shit. I believe let them be stupid in public and let other people make up their own minds about it. Yeah, just recently too, Sox. Absolutely.
Yeah. And the thing is, what he said was factually correct.
Yeah, there was nothing incorrect about what he said. Nothing. So
Wasn't
anyway,
even said in a
welcome.
bad way.
It's Friday, and we're here to talk about entertainment. I am sad to say that poor Kieran is not going to be here. Kieran forgot that they sprung forward this week in the UK, so he's off by an hour, and then he's like, "Oh my God, I can't join you," and I'm like, look, man, no worries. He's fretting over it. I'm like, no, don't worry about it, man. It's good. He apologized, and he's apologizing to you guys too, because he loves coming on the show. He has a good time. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about some Geekosity news. And we don't need to show the headlines, I guess, but if I break up, if I start having any internet problems, I'm going to stop sharing the screen, but here we go. This is the Chris Hemsworth could end his Thor run and go out with a bang. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I mean, I could see them killing him off in the last Avengers movie. Him taking the bullet and in Avengers. I guess it would be the
well, they need to make up
Secret
for
Wars.
Love and Thunder because
Yeah,
it tanked for a reason, because it was a bad idea. So this is written by our good friends Kieran and Mikey Sutton, Kieran Bug, and Chris Hemsworth could end his long run as Thor in Avengers Secret Wars. According to sources, Marvel Studios has discussed making Avengers Secret Wars the finale for Chris Hemsworth's Thor. However, Avengers Secret Wars will reportedly be split into two parts. Thus, it might happen in the 7th Avengers instead of the 6th.
yeah.
So what were you going to say, Martin?
I thought he said he wasn't interested in playing Thor anymore unless there were a very good script.
I'm sure he'll be happy with it, and I'm sure that they wouldn't be saying this if he wasn't contractually obligated to do something.
Unless he's contractually obligated.
Yeah.
I don't know. So let's see what it says here. Regardless, the following may contain potential spoilers. Continue at your own risk. Since its release last year, Thor: Love and Thunder has quickly become one of MCU's most divisive entries. Director Taika Waititi doubled down on the comedy after it helped make Thor: Ragnarok a colossal hit for Marvel Studios. Unfortunately, it didn't feel as natural this time around. For most fans, many believe that the overuse of comedy brought down the otherwise promising story with huge potential. Nonetheless, the sequel still has its merits. That's Kieran. That's Kieran saying that. That's not Mikey. I can tell. The various action sequences being one of them. Battle against Gore, the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale, in the Shadow Realm. I really don't want to go over this. Sadly, like we saw in Avengers Endgame, all good things must come to an end. Chris Hemsworth could wield his mighty hammer for the last time in Secret Wars. Insiders observe that 2028 is the 20th anniversary of the MCU. They explain that the death of Chris Hemsworth, his Thor, could or would be an appropriate bookend to the past 2 decades. I don't know. Maybe not. I'd like to get away from the irreverent humor and show some reverence to these characters again. It would be nice. I'm just saying. Your thoughts?
Well, both Kang Dynasty and the Secret Wars are not lighthearted fare.
Nope. A lot of rough stuff happened in that film.
Yeah, in those crossover comics, yeah.
Yeah, that pissed me off. That's why I stopped reading comics, is the Secret Wars. Because in order to get the rest of the story, you got to buy these other comics that nobody ever wants to read.
Yeah.
I got them. And then I'm like, the story was terrible. And I'm like, oh, you guys are jerks. I felt really, and I think a lot of fans felt put upon by the Secret Wars. But still, a lot of great stuff came out of it. I mean, the black suit.
Yep.
The symbiote. But anyway, let's see who else here. We got Penny is here, Sox Bulletin, Anima Confusa, Dragon Ruse is here, Deanna popped in, and of course Scott Lewis.
Sucks bulletins.
What about Sox?
Yeah.
Sucks bulletins.
I said socks bulletins.
Oh, I must have been glitching out
Not
today.
paying attention. That's okay. Get some fuel up. You'll feel better. Um,
I'd love to.
so, hey, Scott, I think our house is haunted here. Yeah. That door was shut and it flew open. I thought you were messing with me and you were not here. And I'm like, that was weird.
That's okay,
That sucks.
Martine.
Yes, you are here.
I'm sure the cartels have a other powder substitute for Wake you can come up with.
Yeah.
Most probably, but it won't be cheap, I think.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's like you got to come on sometime, pop on camera and do like I got my fuel up. Anyway, like I said, I've been using fuel up for a week before somebody says, you put that in a drink, you don't snort it. Fuel up is delicious. So we've got another story here. Ben Affleck had joyous response to returning as Batman, or as some people say, Batman. Why are you saying it like that? No, Batman. When people say Batman, it just annoys me. I'm like, why are you saying it like that? It's like, Stewie when he says, cool whip, whip. Say whip. Now say cool whip. You ruined it.
Oh, you're
Brian.
so observant, aren't you? Are you a detective?
So Ben Affleck had joyous response to returning as Batman. And this is by editor-in-chief Mikey Sutton. Ben Affleck had a joyous time playing Batman in the Flash movie. In a recent interview, it actually sounded like Ben Affleck wishes to continue playing the Dark Knight. This is why I'm calling bullshit on some of the other things people have said. Without a doubt, it's completely the opposite of what he said about his sour experience working with Joss Whedon on the reshoots of Joss Whedon's Justice League. Ben Affleck described that time in the most painful way, and he admitted, quote, "It broke my heart. There was an idea of someone, Joss Whedon, coming in, like, I'll rescue you and we'll do 60 days of shooting and we'll write a whole thing about what you have. I've got the secret, and it wasn't the secret. That was hard." And of course, he's dealing with his alcoholism and his breakup of his marriage.
Yeah.
And we knew he was excited because when Momoa did that video, it was clear there was excitement behind the scenes of him coming back. And that's why I'm curious what caused Ben Affleck to change his tune. And I believe what changed his tune was, once again, bringing somebody in that he wasn't sure about, and that was James Gunn. And that's when he started hemming and hawing, and it pissed off Zaslav. And I do believe that that's what happened. And I've gotten the look of, yeah, you're right on the money, Gary, from Kieran Buggs. And I'm sure Mikey will agree with me too, that that's what happened behind the scenes. There's a lot of subterfuge that a lot of you guys go, well, this, that, and the other thing. And what I look for is the psychology of a situation. And having worked in entertainment industry as well as other industries, I know how people operate when they don't want to work with people, and those people suddenly get promoted that they don't like working with. And I've seen people just start blending in with the background, and they just go away. And that's what happened with Ben Affleck. I absolutely believe that it was James Gunn and Saffron coming on that turned him off.
Now, do you think that the whole sell or to license out Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix is a real thing? And I think that would, if Netflix was to do that deal and make the remaining Justice Leagues that Zack wants to do you think Ben Affleck would come back for that?
I don't know. Because we got this new article right here that kind of falls into this. Zack Snyder breaks his silence on Justice League 2 to Netflix campaign. Let's take a look at that, because this really falls right into that category. This, of course, is written by Mikey Sutton. Zack has finally shared his thoughts on possibility of Warner Brothers Discovery selling Zack Snyder's Justice League to Netflix. YouTube host Skywalker the Jedi launched the... I'm not going to read that hashtag. It's just a bunch of weird letters and stuff. Movement on Twitter back in January. Instead of trying to convince Warner Brothers Discovery to restore the Snyderverse, SDJ took a different direction. From SDJ's perspective, since DC Studios co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran are pursuing a reboot of DC, Zack Snyder has no future there. Thus, it'd be pointless to even try convincing them to do it. After all, Gunn already crushed the possibilities of Henry Cavill coming back as Superman. Cavill's Superman is the heart of the Snyderverse. Without Cavill, there is no Snyderverse. Am I right? I wanted to kind of move away from Snyderverse with those characters, but it would still be connected, but be different. But this is what we got. And so, in addition, Ben Affleck debunked Gunn's claims that he wanted to direct a project for DC Studios. He admitted, once again, showing that Gunn does lie, I would not direct something for James Gunn DC. Absolutely not. I have nothing against James Gunn. Nice guy. That's code for I don't like him. Yeah. Sure, he's going to do a great job. I mean, otherwise, why point it out? Do a great job. I just wouldn't want to go in and direct in the way they're doing that. I'm not interested in that. There's a lot to unpack in that paragraph. Yeah, there really is. And so, furthermore, Gunn previously revealed that he will recast Affleck's Batman in The Brave and the Bold. In other words, count another key member of the Snyderverse gone. But the lesson that fans learn from this situation is perhaps Gunn isn't as honest as he continually argues he is, which I don't think he is at all. Which leads us back to Zack Snyder. In regards to Zack Snyder directing another Justice League movie, Gunn said he talked to him. Gunn tweeted that Zack Snyder has moved on from DC. Quote, Zack hasn't expressed any interest, and it seems to be happy doing what he's doing right now. And then Mikey throws in his snide remark, oh, really? In an online interview last night, Zack Snyder opened up about how he felt about Warner Brothers Discovery and the hashtag, as with Affleck, and we have a trust issue with Snyder. Acknowledged. Quote, the truth is, that would be amazing, end quote. Amazing. Interesting word choice. Without a doubt, that's not what the anti-Snyderverse crowd wanted or expected to hear. In fact, a false rumor circulated that the upcoming 3-day SnyderCon event was the director saying goodbye to the DC-verse. Of course, this piece of fiction coincidentally arrived when Shazam! Fury of the Gods sank at the box office. Look it up, the box office. Yeah. It was such a commercial failure that Zach Levi, the star, threw out a shopping list of people to blame, including Snyder fans. Via Polygon, Levi vented his frustration. Quote, elsewhere on Tuesday, Levi risked the ire of DC fans' most toxic fandom by agreeing that one fan's analysis that Zack Snyder fans were happy with the failure of your film as a sort of punishment for Warner Brothers for failing to preserve the Snyder's continuity and casting choices established in the Snyder's Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League. Gunn will recast Superman in his forthcoming Superman Legacy. In a now deleted tweet, as reported by Variety, Levi replied, this is also true, sad but true. How much that actually affects the box office is anyone's guess. But I think the biggest issue we're having is marketing. This is a perfect family movie, and yet a lot of families aren't aware of that, which is just a shame. Now, a lot of you pulled a lot from that, but you know what I pulled from that comment, John? Martin?
Yeah.
I pulled from that comment that they're doing a terrible job marketing.
Yep.
That the primary thing going here is that if a fan base is big enough to do damage to your movie, then it was big enough for you to have catered to. Think of that. If the fan base was big enough to do damage to your film, then it was big enough to have saved your film if you had properly catered to it.
And they pissed off a lot of fans when they... That's James Gunn.
Is that the fans' failure?
Nope.
No, it's not.
No.
It's Warner Brothers
Because...
Discovery and James Gunn and Saffron.
Yeah, because James Gunn said, hey, you know, this is... we're rebooting everything, and here's the new slate. And everything before is not going to be considered. And these few things are going to be considered Elseworlds, but Shazam wasn't on that list.
I'm very annoyed with the way they're managing themselves right now. David Zaslav screwed up. He had done so much, and yes, it hurt them financially to do what he did. But the fact is, he had done so much and then got to the 10-yard line and then fumbled and turns it over to the other team.
Yeah.
That's Gary again going to sports analogies. Certainly, Warner Brothers would prefer if these followers moved on from Snyder. Yeah, wish in one hand, shit in the other. That's stupid. That's shit stupid to say that. Not Mikey saying it, but for them to think that. Indeed, the initial half of Gunn's DC slate hasn't caught fire, and yet what is he doing? He's attacking fans. He posts way too much to Twitter. He needs to shut the F up.
Yeah.
Gunn talks too freaking much. If it's the fans' fault, then it's their bad marketing. It's not the fans' fault. If the fans can have that big of an impact on whether your movie makes money or not, then you're not marketing your films or making your films to the right audience. That's on them.
Yeah.
No, nobody's told me. Am I roboting right now?
Not right now specifically, but you were reading the stuff.
Yeah, see, I need you to tell me because that's why I don't want to host the video, the screen, if it's going to do that. And I can go to like this right now and stop sharing, remove, stop sharing. There we go. And then I can just continue reading it. On the contrary, Gunn's list of creature commandos, Booster Gold, and the Authority merely lit up the pieces of what used to be quarter bin back issue collections. And it's true. Granted, Snyder did say he doesn't know if Netflix will pull the trigger on a Justice League deal. Quote, it's above my pay grade, end quote. That's an interesting statement, though. That means it's on his mind. Saying it that way, phrasing it. Again, I don't look at just what they said. I look at why they said it. So that's an interesting little statement, that little sentence. It's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
So still, many expected that answer. What's important is that Snyder remains interested, and he is showing interest, which is Gunn again lying. He lied. It shouldn't be a shock either. Snyder's dropped clues. On March 17th, Twitter user Snyder Queen tweeted his Dark Side video and highlighted a hidden message, "Don't stop," from Snyder himself. That says everything about Snyder's desire to keep it going. And even though I am not a Snyder fan when it comes to his DC verse, I'm not. I loved his casting. It's sort of like J.J. Abrams. I liked his casting. I liked what he was doing. I just didn't like the way he pulled it off.
Yeah.
He was trying to turn Star Trek into Star Wars. Captain Kirk was Han Solo. And Spock was Chewie. And Princess Leia was, Uhura.
Yeah. I take offense at Mikey calling Booster Gold quarter bin back issue collections.
I don't know. Booster Gold was kind of popular for like this. In his existence, he was only popular for this much of it. And so
he's
it's
waxed
not
and
a lie.
waned. He's got a lot of popularity now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But previously, he really was a bargain comic, because it wasn't until later that he got popular.
Well, after
And-
his initial run in the 90s was good, and he was popular in the 90s.
Right.
Then they did some weird shit with him in the 2000s, and he lost popularity. But after they did that one, what was it, Final Crisis, his popularity picked back up again.
And I think that'll be interesting. No matter what, they've got a potential opportunity here to make money off of Zack Snyder still by doing this deal with Netflix. And I really do look at that. Don't worry about the conflict of the properties. Look at the potential of driving revenue. And that should be all Zaslav should care about at this point, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's all about the money at this point, because they cannot afford to pass this up, to be honest.
Not at all.
If Netflix is willing to pony up the money for Justice League 2 and Justice League 3, let them.
Yeah, I concur.
And I
concur.
And I think if that happened, if they said, yes, Snyder's going to do his Justice League 2 and 3 on Netflix, I'm willing to bet that everybody comes back, except for maybe Ray Fisher. But Ray Fisher might even come back, because it's not DC, it's Zack Snyder. And he didn't have the problem with Zack Snyder. He had the problem with Josh Whedon and the DC executives.
I did not know that.
Yeah, all his
did
issues.
Romeo and Juliet?
Oh yeah, he did.
I didn't know that was him. Huh. I'm a fan of his work. I really do like James Gunn's work. I just think he's being see you next Tuesday right now.
Apparently today's the anniversary of Slither.
I love that movie. Michael Rooker is really good in that film. And people don't know that that's where his relationship with James Gunn started.
Oh,
was
yeah.
In the movie Slither.
Nathan Fillion.
I love the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
That he wrote. I like those films. That's how I became a James Gunn fan. Because he was right here in Missouri. And I'm like, Missouri boy makes good. Awesome. Yep. And so I started following his blog. And that's when he told that story about his brother getting shit on by that 12-year-old girl,
Yeah.
Because they were at Six Flags, and he was hemming and hawing about getting on this ride, because he's getting nervous about it as they were getting close to the end of the line. And this 12-year-old girl says, "Stop being a pussy, and you're making everybody wait," kind of thing. And it made the brother who's the actor who's in the movie,
Sean Gunn,
and he got on the ride because of that girl, but. Gunn made that comment in his blog. This is way back in the MySpace days.
Yeah.
And he wrote, he goes, "I can hardly wait till that girl turns 18 so I can F her." And I'm like,
that's
what?
creepy. Yeah, that's creepy.
He was always trying to be edgy with his comments. He was always, because, he's always pushing the envelope, but sometimes he would go too far. And that's why he had to delete so many of his comments. Because his stuff, pushed a lot of moral envelopes. I will not call him. A lot of people call him the P word. I'm not going to do that. Said, first of all, if he is of that ilk, he's never been caught doing it or had any claims made against him by anyone. Fans who don't like him do it, and I'm like, well, that's just kind of shitty. Don't do that.
Yeah, I don't think
that's a horrible thing to call somebody. He just has a sense of humor, I think, that I don't like.
He was trying to be an edgelord. That's what it was.
Yeah. Thinks it's clever and funny. And until he gets in a mixed crowd and they go, and it goes, oh, shit, maybe I shouldn't have made those jokes. And that's what I think he got caught, making bad jokes, inappropriate jokes. And came back to haunt him. Ryan Johnson, on the other hand, when he had to delete those 25,000 tweets, it was because him and his two pals were going around trolling and messing with nerds of comics and sci-fi and gaming. They would go in there and they just start messing with people. His hatred of fans has gone back years, and I knew about it way back when he did Brick. I caught him doing that shit, and I stopped following him. I unfollowed him, blocked him. I'm like, this guy's a jackass. So when it got reported, he had to delete all those tweets. That's what he had to delete, is all the trolling he did, him and his pals.
Hey, Monkey, considering his age, well, I guess he was younger when he said it, obviously, but that's still making that statement about he wanted to F her when she turned 18 is something a groomer would say.
That is it. That you can hardly wait that you're already thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's just, that was what made it creepy. And I'm a dad with a little girl, and I'm like, man, you say that near me, I'll knock you out. I have come close to violence at our own Vision Con here in Springfield because some young men made comments about my underage daughter in my presence, not knowing I'm standing there. But hey, Scott's joined us. Hi, Scott.
Hey guys, how are you? But on all
pretty good.
that, Mr. Gary, let me ask you this.
Yeah, man.
You get upset and you get bothered. What's the one thing that'll fuel you up to keep you going?
Fuel up.
And what about that?
It fuels me up. Doesn't fuel me up. It fuels me up.
Fuels you up. Yes, exactly.
I got to tell you, it even quashes my appetite. And in the commercial, and you'll see it here at the top of the hour, I love that we got the Fuel Up commercial added. It talks about 70% of people don't know that when they're feeling hungry, it's actually not hunger. You're thirsty.
Yeah.
You're actually thirsty because you're dehydrated. And it's the first thing I learned in weight loss. When I lost that, about 300 pounds, it's like what I started doing, I started drinking more water. And I love that about Fuel Up because I'm drinking water. I'm not drinking soda. Don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, I like to have soda, but I prefer, like last night, Scott bought me dinner and said, hey, man, you want a soda? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to stick to my water.
It was a one-time offer just to see what you'd say.
And you were testing me. By the way, did you hear what I said about the house?
Yeah, it's not haunted. It just wants you out. So don't worry about it.
That wants me. Oh my God!
All right,
I've
been listening to some of your guys' comments. Let me present a question or a thought.
Yeah, man.
If Netflix picks up Zack Snyder verse and they are allowed to do the Justice Leagues on Netflix, couldn't we as fans see that as Elseworlds and be more more likely to be supportive of it and watch it?
Yeah.
Because that could actually open up more things that they could do.
Yeah.
And that also give another avenue, like if they wanted to do someone other than Booster Gold or other characters, they actually have an avenue and they could actually do it on Netflix. Wouldn't that be a good option?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Look, I'm all for this Netflix deal. I think that if it can happen, it should happen. I think that if it can happen, it absolutely 100% should happen. Because this way, you get your cake and you get to eat it too.
Absolutely. Now, John, this question's for you. I know you're a big Booster Gold fan, as you mentioned before.
Yeah.
Do you think that the rise of his popularity now is because of the anniversary of the Justice League animated series?
No. I think it has to do with his character arc in the comics.
Okay.
Because he went through a lot.
He did go through a lot. Absolutely.
And he really resonated with fans, especially, in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
The same people that loved him in the 90s came back to him. And I guess it's last 7 years because it's like the last 2 years has been utter garbage, but that's because of the crowd that writes DC nowadays.
Correct. And we're not going to go down that road. But here's a hypothetical question, Martin. This is for you as well. But what do you think the character's theme song would be? Any superhero character, their theme song, Booster Gold. What would be his theme song? Think about that.
I wouldn't know. I haven't
Any
read nor.
superhero, any superhero.
As a joke,
Cool.
it would be Rockstar by
Rockstar.
Smash Mouth. Or an all-star. I'm an all-star.
All-star.
Because
All-star.
that's because when
Yeah.
he started, that's what he wanted to be, was like the big hero, and that's why he came back from the future and came to this timeline so he could be this big hero.
Correct.
Yeah, it was an ego thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of would like I want to be a cowboy, baby.
For Booster Gold.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a little bit far-fetched, but sure, why not?
Yeah.
What
It's
about
a hero again. It's again a hero thing. I wanna
it's a
be
hero thing. What about
It's like saying Rockstar.
what about any of the other heroes, Snyderverse or regular DC? What would be some of their theme songs?
Oh man, that's something that's
Okay,
that's a-
Monkey, I want you to really think about what you just said here. He doesn't have time to do it because no time in the future will he have time. Also, he would not do something that he would make tons of money off of. He would not do that. I want you to think about that. As I put you in the corner for having said that. Your failure of logic here, buddy. You're a logical dude. I love that about you, but that's an illogical statement you just said.
I don't think,
You make time when it's money.
Scott, I think that's a question that we need to pose and then spend some time on.
Absolutely, and I think it'd be interesting to see what other people in the chat would say that their superhero, any superhero, what their theme song might be.
Absolutely. And by the way, Sox, it would also be a win for DC, Warner Brothers Discovery, because they would make money off of that deal.
Because
they
I
absolutely would. Rather than it sitting there not making any money, they would make money.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about this theme song on the way over here as I heard Queen's Flash.
Now you just heard them say, Monkey, I'm sorry, man. You're starting to irritate me, dude. You sound like a one-tune fucking piano. It's like, seriously, dude, if the fans can hurt a fucking film, they can make a fucking film. It's a logic issue again, buddy. Either it does one thing or it doesn't do anything. So either the fan base can make money or it can't make money. You got to make up your mind which one it is. And in this case, I completely disagree with you, dude. That is a lack of logic to say that. It's too bold of a statement that goes in absolutely the wrong direction. That something popular won't make money. Seriously, dude. Come on, man. Come on, man.
So as I was saying, on my way over,
I got one guitar on this, one string on this
Come on,
guitar. I'm just
man.
going to play that. That's what you're doing, Monkey, when you do that. Go ahead, Scott.
on my way
How
over
dare you?
to the secret man cave, I was hearing Queen's Flash, and I was just thinking that'd be a great theme song for The Flash.
Yeah, hell yeah. Driving.
Not for the current Flash, of course.
Not for the current Flash, no.
You know, I can lay down this side by side the shit that I predicted in advance that happened, and I would be right so often because I guess things. I don't have people in the industry that I go to for information, and incorrect again. You're just like, you're worse than the left when you double, triple down on bad ideas, Monkey. You're doubling down on an idea that you're not winning this argument. You can't win this argument. Warner Brothers Discovery let it be known that his film was a huge hit for HBO.
Hey Gary,
So-
you know what? You know what is a great idea? Fuel Up. Fuel Up is a great idea.
Yeah, I have it on the screen. I used to watch the original Flash TV series. Are you? Oh, the one back in the 90s. Yeah, it was a good show, man. It only got one season now. I don't know what
current
was
Flash-
up with that.
Scott, the current
Yep.
Flash's theme song is White Town's Your Woman.
I beg to differ, Monkey. We got lots of info on that.
Good choice. Good choice. That's a good choice. Maybe not the one that everyone would agree with, but that's a
Yeah.
good.
You had to look up who did it, but
Martin, what do you think? Who do you think would have a good theme song of any of the superheroes? And what would it be?
I will pass on that.
No, come on. So many options.
I will pass on.
No answer is ever wrong on this thought.
Oh, no. My answer can be very, very wrong. But I have the thing is I have never put so much thought on that. Let me see. Because I don't know. I'm very happy with the choices that has been used in movies.
Okay. Well, maybe I think about that too often because of being the audio guy, but it's always good to see what their theme song would be.
yeah.
Mm.
Like I said, that could be a part of a show in and of itself, with like one of those favorite movies kind of things. What would be
Right.
coming up with theme songs for people?
Exactly.
Like I said, that's not something I can just come up off the top of my head, because I've got to go through my music memory, and I'm not in that mind space right now.
Absolutely. Well, maybe
Yeah.
for another time, but that was just an idea I thought about on the way home after hearing Queen's song today.
And one of the things I'm curious about, why we haven't seen anything more on Buck Rogers, because they're supposedly doing 2 Buck Rogers,
Yeah.
a movie and a TV series. We've not heard a damn thing in months.
Economy's left it in development hell, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to see Flash Gordon come back too. I love Flash Gordon.
But do you think Flash Gordon can come back in today's society and be as big of a hit as it was?
Sure. There's always going to be viewership. It's just, are you going to be brave enough to make it?
Yeah.
Oh, they can make Flash a girl.
Yeah, they would probably make Flash Gordon a female, because I heard they were I don't know if it's ever going forward, but they talked about doing the Rocketeer, but as a woman.
Yeah, well, they did the TV, the animated series, and I don't know what happened to that. I wasn't interested. But going back to Zack Snyder, like with HBO, he had the most watched film on HBO.
And that thing's 4 hours.
Yeah, it was 2.2 million, according to, I think it was Nielsen ratings was one who clocked that one. 2.2 million, and they referred to that as the what is it? The most watched film of 2021 is what it was.
Yeah.
Not of all time, because they've had higher numbers than that for other stuff, but it was the highest of 2021, and 2021 was in the middle of the pandemic thing.
Well, it's the the beginning of the fall off from people starting to go back to work,
but they did recognize it as an absolute hit, and you can sit there and say it wasn't. The numbers speak for itself that it was a hit.
Man, they should release it on theaters. Even now, I think it could.
They're supposedly doing it the Snyder Fest, right?
Yeah, they're doing it on IMAX.
Yeah, an IMAX.
Warner Brothers exec approved exclusive IMAX screening of Snyder
looks who's
So
here.
you hear all these bullshit stories coming out. Warner Brothers regrets, blah blah blah, and I'm like, you regret 2.2 million views, highest viewed film of the freaking year? That's bullshit. These people make up stories, and it's sad to see Monkey falling for that crap. Hey, Matt Vader's here, popping in to say hi. Good to see you, my friend. I really want to talk to him about something. I don't want to bring it up on the show, because I heard that they did not like something that Anima and I watched and did like, which we'll be talking about in the second hour of the show. And I heard the Salty Nerds did not like, I'll just say it, John Wick 4.
Congratulations, Courtney.
Congratulations, Courtney.
Courtney, I love Courtney. She's so awesome. I wanted to share.
She's celebrating today.
Yep.
What is she celebrating? I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with the subject, but today marks 6 years. God bless you, girl. That is awesome. I'm proud of you, man. I really am. It's so wonderful to hear that. Courtney is like one of the most wonderful people. If you don't know her, you've got a hole in your life, man. She is one of those people that brings a lot of joy. Yep. And just a fun person, decent person, very knowledgeable. I love getting on the rock and roll shows with her and Brian and talking about classic rock.
She needs her own theme song.
Courtney, I think what would be Courtney's theme song? It's punk. I know it's punk.
I can guarantee you it's something from Fang.
Nope. I have a song in my head from Big Audio Dynamite that was the fallout of The Clash. That's what the lead singer from The Clash left and did Big Audio Dynamite before he died. And I love Big Audio Dynamite, man.
That would actually be a song for her.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a great.
Absolutely. I can hear one of the songs by them, and I can't think of the name of it right now, and I'm drawing a blank. I'll have to look it up. But there's this one song by them, absolutely is her theme song. Shill and Skywalker and Zod Rider were being very immature, trying to cause trouble. Hey, man, I'm not going to get into the drama. We don't do drama on this show at all, Monkey. Because if we were, I'd be talking about the stuff that went down through two people who I admire and respect, Doomcock and RMB. I love those guys. I hate it. I hate it seeing it when mom and dad are arguing.
I hate drama in general.
I do too. We don't bring in that drama. We don't play a part of it. I refuse. What I'm here for is being proactive about our community and finding the best things to talk about. I hate it when people fight, man. I fucking hate it, man. And I hate seeing people attacking other people. It hurts to watch other people in our community attacking other members of that same community. I hate it.
Now, if it's somebody I don't like, they get that little Schadenfreude from it.
Yeah, and I won't go into it. I still won't talk about them. There's people who I don't like. And, it's behind the scenes. Everybody knows who it is. I will not talk about it on the show. I'm not worried about getting in trouble. I'm not worried about getting in hot water. I don't care. What I care about is, since high school, man, I don't publicly get involved with the drama. I just don't do it. People start blah, 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 and I'm just walking around going, hey, man, we got new soda machines in the stairwell hallway. I'm going to go get me a soda while you guys bitch it out. I don't care. I'm not going to be a part of that. It's like Matt Vader. Matt Vader's always starting shit with me.
Yeah. Well, his last name's Vader. What do you expect?
I got your drama. I love Matt.
Don't let him near your Matt children.
So I'd love Matt to be a regular with me on shows, man. I fucking enjoy that guy so much.
Matt's like Dark Side Light.
Yeah. But we are going to be talking about Keanu Reeves in the fourth film. And I'm going to try not to. God, it's hard not to spoil things.
I haven't seen it yet.
I really feel like that's on the audience to go see the damn movies and stop crying about not having seen the movie. I can't do it, Anima, doing like 4 different things.
Yeah, he cannot join today.
He's got 2 hands, but he's doing 4 things. He's using the feet too.
Okay.
Yeah, nipple. I just feel so bad right now because there are people in our community going through some stuff, and Tom and I talked about this before. That it really sucks when we start seeing people within the community going at each other, and I get it. I get it. Sometimes personalities clash, but I tend to gravitate towards certain people, and I tend to gravitate away from certain people for a reason, because I can see like a lot of people. I've been invited to be on a lot of shows, and I'm cautious going on those shows because twice I've dug into somebody, and I called one guy I'm going to say it. I called him a fucking moron. I said, if that's really what you think, you're a fucking moron. And it got really dead quiet, and then the show ended abruptly. I'm like, you invite me in on a guest, and then you start henpecking me. And I don't do the ambush stuff. You try to ambush me, I'll come right back at you. Get stupid with me. Tell me that the sequel trilogy and the prequel trilogy is as good as the best Star Wars film of all time, Empire Strikes Back. It's like, go fuck yourself. You're an idiot.
Well, Gary, you know a good thing that brings everybody together?
Music.
Well, music does, but also Fuel Up.
Yes, Fuel Up, it doesn't bring people. What are you talking about, Scott? I swear to God.
People together and find out more about Fuel
That
Up.
would be neat, though, if it was one of those unifier drinks. It's like, you drink Fuel Up? I do too. Let's hang out.
No, not creepy at all.
Dude. I would love that.
That
I
is
want to
so-
live in that world.
Like classic Coca-Cola back in the day.
I'd like
I'd teach
to
the
teach
teach
the
the
world to sing.
in
Yep.
perfect harmony.
Okay,
Yep,
that
absolutely, man.
no more. You can't sing anymore.
Nope, that's why I stopped.
Yeah, but it's so off key. Nobody's going to notice.
Yeah, I won't trigger the.
Trigger any those AI bots that look
Yeah.
for. I heard a rumor from my trusted source who has a cousin that once lit a smoke for Gary that said his mom heard from her hairdresser cousin that Rian Johnson is making a Star Wars movie.
Not anymore. It got canceled, and he's bounced
He
out
was
of
just
there.
trolling people. It was canceled early on, and he knew it. He just knew because they hadn't said anything publicly, he could keep going back to that to troll Star Wars fans because he likes doing that. He's one of those jerks that likes to troll people. It's his thing.
Well,
You know, and I've
sometimes
known that for a
trolling's
long
fun.
time because I followed him on Twitter early on back in the 2000s. So, but yeah, we are 3 minutes out from our commercial break. So I agree. Do you remember the song that I'm talking about, Scott, from Big Audio Dynamite?
Yes. Sorry, I was responding to a text. Yes, I'm trying to remember the theme of it.
I'm thinking it was Rush by Big Audio Dynamite. I
Yep,
am not
Rush
sure.
from the
Yeah.
Globe on 1991.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Yes, it was Rush.
It was Rush. Okay, I was trying to remember, and that's Courtney's theme, in my opinion. That's a great song. I love Big Audio Dynamite.
Well,
I
Courtney,
like the equals MC squared better, but
oh yeah, that's good too. But ask Courtney if she thinks that'd be a great theme song for her, and have her put it in the comments.
She said, what did she say? I saw her say something about Big Audio Dynamite.
Yeah, let me find it for you. Here, this one.
Yeah. No, the song is The Globe. Where are you going, my beautiful friends? This is there you go. That's your theme song. Yep, Globe. That's the one.
That's better than Rush.
Yep.
Well,
But I look, if you've never heard Big Audio Dynamite, I highly recommend it. I need Brian on here. We could do like a show with Scott, Brian, and me talking about Big Audio Dynamite. That'd be fun. I love that band. I was sorry when the Clash broke up, but then when Big Audio Dynamite came out, I'm like, it's like Clash 2.0.
Yeah, they kind of took the place for some fans from the Clash. So yeah, it almost fit
Well,
right.
you had the voice, the major songwriter of the band. I mean, that's what he was doing. He continued. Yeah, I'm sorry, Courtney. I don't always look at the chat because when I'm focused on thinking, spontaneous thinking and saying things, because I do the stream of conscious thing, all focus goes to whatever it is I'm talking about. And I miss a lot of things in the chat. But you, Scott, Brian, and I, we should just talk about that. Big Audio Dynamite and the Clash. You can't talk about Big Audio Dynamite without the Clash. It's got to be like one show talking about that band or that guy. What was his name? I forget his name, the lead singer.
Oh, I'd
from the
forgotten.
Clash.
Oh, it's worse than that, Monkey. We just got claimed. His show got 3 claims for the music, and it sucks. It sucks, and I don't mind if we don't monetize it and just leave it as is. I don't mind doing that, but I got to talk to Brian today of what he wants me to do from a management standpoint. Do we leave it and just
Yeah.
ignore it, or do you want me to mute the music?
Once again, they don't understand fair use and hit the little guys.
Yep, they were fun. Big Audio Diamond. Then there was Joe Strummer and the Mescaleros. Yes.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as popular. You are correct.
No.
Still a good group. Absolutely.
Yeah, I liked. There was a period there in the late '80s, going into the '90s. We saw some interesting stuff happening before grunge hit. And grunge, don't get me wrong, there are parts of grunge that I enjoyed, but I really felt that was the beginning of the end of music, where we started moving towards the 3-chord process we have now, where all songs are somewhat derivative of each other. And
Well, I think it's time for us to go to break.
Yes, it is. That long-winded way. Oh, I missed that. I wanted to read that before we went. That comment
What is
that you just had up.
yeah.
That long-winded way of saying he ignores the chat. I don't ignore it, Parrot. Dick. That's proof I don't ignore it. All right, Bill. Screw Parrot Head. Let's do a commercial. Hi, guys. This is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow. We survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA. Pop Culture Minefield.
Speaking of new music, Metallica released the title track for their new album a few days ago.
Yes, they did.
72 Seasons.
Yes, it's really good. Also, if you have a chance to check out, I've told you guys before, new group that I've heard that's been around for a while, Texas Hippie Coalition. You need to check them out. Really good as well.
Fantastic. And by the way, Scott's uncle has the band Tainted Angel, and there's some good rock right there.
Yeah, there's some good rock right there.
Your uncle's band is fucking awesome.
That's the music that you use for your military.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Gary, I'm getting ready to step off here, but real quick, I just want to let anybody know in Springfield, if you're in Springfield, next Thursday, April 6th, there is an Easter trunk hop that you can bring kids to. Come out, enjoy some great music. The world-famous DJ is going to be there. It's going to be a chance for kids to come out, get some Easter eggs, have some fun, and Easter trunk hop in Springfield, and that's going to be over to Air Services from 6 until 8, Thursday night, April the 6th. Thursday. Yeah, the 6th. Yeah. So if anybody's in Springfield, they want to come to that, come check it out.
That'd be cool. Thanks a lot, Scott.
Absolutely.
And we are in the middle of the U.S., so I know there are people within a few hours of us that could really come and enjoy something like that.
Well,
and,
also, you've also got a lot of people in Springfield that are listening to the show as well. And this is before we have all the Easter egg hunts on Saturday. This is an opportunity for you to come out with the kids. It's a great place, good people. Come out, say hi to the DJ, anything like that.
And I will tell you, don't sit right under the speakers. I made that mistake. My ears were ringing for like a day. But that was a fun night hanging out with you guys, going bowling.
So everybody understands, we invited Gary to actually get out of the Superman cave and actually get out to the world every now and then. And there was an event that I was playing music at here in Springfield. And Gary's like, yeah, I'll go. But the only seat that he wanted to find was the one that was a foot away from the speaker. So he sits in that chair, and I said,
I got to sit with my back to a wall.
And I understand. But I said, are you sure you want to sit there? He goes, yes, I want to sit there. And I'm like, okay, I warned you. Next thing you know, 3 hours later, we're playing music, and his head's like going, wow, loud. That's what happens when you sit underneath a speaker.
But it was a good show. I enjoyed the music. Great selection of 80s music.
Absolutely. We do different things like that periodically. It's always a good option. But we play all music.
I'm trying to see. Did Matt say he could join us?
No, he said he's got 4 things to do.
That's right. He's doing 4 things. 2 hands, doing 4 things. But I guess we could go ahead and get into this. We're going to talk a little bit.
Let's read this.
Someone tell Gary, the lead singer of the Clash. Yeah, I said that already.
Joe Strummer.
Yeah, it's Joe Strummer.
You were off air when you said it. Say it again. Yeah.
Well, I said it before the break too. Yeah, Joe Strummer.
All right, gentlemen, have a great day. Thank you, guys.
Have a good one, Scott.
See you later, Scott.
Bye, Scott.
So we're going to talk a little bit about this movie. And I got to say, I was shocked to hear that the Salty Nerds, none of them liked it. And I'm like, oh, really? Because
I concur with all their points.
So bring it up. Let's hear the points.
Okay. Well, first of all, there's this thing that everybody has been praising since the second movie, and I'm not so sure I am bored with that. Is the escalation of the unbelievableness. The first one was so ground-based, and
yeah, it's very grounded. And at this point, we are really in the ether. There's no question.
If you ask me, John Wick is taking the route of Fast and Furious. If there's a 5th movie, there will be on space. John Wick killed you in space. Now, the thing that he's 2 steps from getting superpowers. He survives unbelievable falls, unbelievable punishment without even feeling it. And don't get me started with the mother freaking bulletproof suit. No, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, because it was something I said. You get hit with that many rounds wearing that suit, it would be like being hit by a baseball bat multiple times.
Your ribs are gonna crack, and then you have the well, I told you so. It's John Wick. There's obviously killing people, but there's a point in the movie when you are I can English today. You get bored of all the people killed. The choreography is subpar. It's not like in the previous movies. What else do you have there?
Well, it's the previous three films were constantly moving forward. This was coming to a stop, and I didn't. I will tell you things that I didn't like about it. One of them was the excessive use of the violence that came off more cartoony than typical John Wick stuff. Sure,
Yeah.
but when it comes to storytelling, and that's really where a lot of my gauge comes from. I actually thought it was a good story, that he is coming to an end and that he needs to bring this train to a stop. There's absolutely one battle in that film that I think was worth the price of admission, which is the Kill House battle, where they shoot from up high looking down. That was an amazing battle.
Yeah, but it looks like a video game. I'm sorry.
That's a weak argument. I don't like that.
I
That's like, it looks like a video game. Everything looks like a video game.
Yeah.
When it comes to action scenes. So no, that's a bad argument. What's a good argument is the fact that they chose to do something that took you out of it in a way, because hovering above the walls, there's no ceiling. It takes you out of the film. That's my one complaint about it. By doing that, you're literally taken out of the film. You are looking through what should be the ceiling. You're seeing the tops of the walls in that scene. That's weird to me. It's off-putting. But at the same time, I understand that is some amazing choreography in that battle. So I beg to differ on the choreography. I think some of the choreography was silly, like bringing bows and arrows to a gunfight was weird. Not believable even remotely. I thought it was better when you would see people with swords drop their swords for a gun when it was necessary. This time around, there is a fantasy element, and this is what it is. The CBS, or not CBS, NBC Universal has its teeth sunk into John Wick. So this movie was coming to an end, even though I don't think they had intended to do another fifth film. And I think that there was a decision made to instead focus on the building of the world. And so it had an impact on where they went with this film. And it caused me to have a lot of trepidation watching it. Because, like, if you ask me, oh, are you right for criticizing some of this stuff? No, you're absolutely. I'm not going to call you wrong. I'm going to say, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of that. I don't think that it was as good a film as any of the three first films, and nowhere near as good as the first film. The first film by itself is the best of the films. Whereas the fourth film felt like, well, we've run out of stuff to do. We've created a character that we have turned into a demigod. And we're just going to go ahead with the whole demigod rather than trying to have it grounded. I think that there was a grounded way of telling this story they could have done, but they didn't do. But in the end, was the action worth the price of admission? It is. It's worth the price of admission to watch the action in this film. Do I think that it's as good a film as the first film? No, it's not. The third film, as good as it was, wasn't as good as the first film. I was kind of bored with the third film. I like the second film a lot. I'm a big fan of the second film. You need to also, if you're going to watch Gun Kata, you need to watch that movie with Christian Bale.
Yes, I'm trying to remember
I don't remember
love
the name
that
of the film,
one.
but I do. Gun
Equilibrium.
Kata. Equilibrium, that's right. Good film. Fun film. But my problem with the John Wick universe, the way it's growing, it had an impact on the making of this movie. And they changed things. And I think not for the better. But I still think that it's a good conclusion to the franchise, if it is the conclusion. Because originally they planned to do at least the fifth one.
Yeah. The post-credit scenes it suggests there will be spin-off,
Well,
more
I think
spin-off.
I really liked Mr. Nobody in the movie. I really liked him and his damn dog. And it was the best
Yeah.
part in many ways. His character was the best one. I am not a fan of the Arc de Triomphe scene. I dislike that. That is the Fast
Yeah.
and Furious moment for me. I thought that was absurd. That why aren't these cars stopping?
Dude,
You know, they're just
no,
keep going.
the dance club.
A dance club is a bit.
Mm.
Oh, I hate saying this, but it's true. It's an overused trope, and it's been done one too many times.
No, but in the previous movies, then when Wick has a fight in a club, everybody runs.
Nobody's
not
running.
this
I
time.
know. It's like they don't care that there are guns going off around him. I dislike that part, but I did like what's his name's death, because a lot of people didn't know who that was underneath that fat suit.
Oh, Scott Adkins.
Yeah, Scott Adkins. That was good. His fight scene was good. I like.
That's the other thing. That was the only death that you're accustomed to look for in John Wick. You're always expecting that moment, and you say, "Oh my God, look what it is!" And it didn't happen to only with Scott Adkins, and it was too fast and too.
Yeah, I got so excited when they got. I just forgot his name. Big Chinese martial arts actor,
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen. I was so excited with that, and I really felt let down between his and the fight between him and John Wick. I liked his character. The best fight really was between him and the Japanese actor that always plays samurai.
Yeah,
I like
Hiroyuki
that fight.
Sanada.
Yeah, he did a version of Miyamoto Musashi in the 2000s that I really liked. He's a very good swordsman. And I really wanted to see more of that character. I was disappointed with that character.
Demise.
Not continue. I didn't want to say that. I was trying to avoid that word. I was disappointed that he wasn't in the film more, is what I was going to say.
Sorry.
So, Joe's atmosphere is here. Hey, Joe, how you doing, buddy? We got anything else here? Who else has shown up? I want to make sure I said hi to Matt Vader, Parrot Head, Courtney, Monkey Jeebus, Slasher Fred, Peter Vinkman Girl, Zax. Yeah, everybody's here. All right, good. So, absolutely very disappointed with certain aspects of it, but I did like the ending. I felt it ended very nicely. Very somber. I did not like the effects around the Sacre-Cœur. I didn't think it looked real. And that's one thing. In fact, there are several scenes in this film that look like they're either in the round or on a green screen. And it just felt unnatural. Like they're trying to save money, budget, by not going to locations. And I thought, I didn't like that. I know that France, a lot of people don't know this, that France had rules on the books that you weren't allowed to fire guns for movies inside the city limits for decades because of the attempted assassination of the French president. I forget his name, by the Jackal. They outlawed firing guns within the city limits, including movies. And the first movie to do that, do you guys know what movie that was?
Honestly, no.
It was De Niro with Frankenheimer and Jean Reno in the movie Ronin. Ronin was the first movie since that law was enacted where a movie was allowed to shoot with blanks firing inside the city limits.
Nice. That's a good movie, man.
I forget his name. Hold on.
Hey, Kylog. Good to see you.
I'm gonna look it up real quick because I forget his name. Let's see, Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle is who the Jackal tried to assassinate it, and after that, they outlawed guns within the city. You know, so boo.
By the way, it's about to get a little loud around here.
Why? Oh, the storm.
Yeah, it's south of us right now, and it's barreling right towards us. I'm
whoo-wee.
Watching on radar.
Oh boy. But I don't know. Look, John Wick's over, and that was the end of the film franchise. They could have the potential to make more, but I think with Universal, NBC's involvement, Peacock, I think that we are going to see the watering down and the death of that universe. I don't think it's going to be as good as people think or are hoping. I was hoping. Peacock puts out substandard product. They really do. They are a crappy service. They're crappy producers. I say that it's worth the price of admission just for some of the battle scenes, specifically the kill room scene. I think that it's nice to watch the ending. The after credit scene, Yeah, and I got to tell you, I think Anna and I both kind of feel that way. Because once she found out that that is the ending, it's like, why should I care anymore? You know I feel that way too. But I'm not going to shit on the film because I think they tried to do the best they could with what they had. I think the budget was cut clearly. Because what was great about the first film was location shooting. And all of a sudden we're on green screen, weird CG. I didn't like it. I loved it when the dog. Yeah, I did laugh when the dog peed on his head. I thought that was great.
Oh, Gary, did you see the Salty Nerd podcast video about it?
No, I just heard about it.
You should.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it that day when I was told about it, but I was in the middle of deadlines. And when I'm not on here doing the shows, I'm busy working. And it's hard for me. I can listen in the background and I could try to do that. But when I'm in there with Anima, we tend to be doing date stuff, watching movies together and stuff like that. But she and I will probably put that on tonight and listen to it, see what's going on. Because I am curious about what they all said. I know I was just surprised that all of you were in agreement because there's usually a diverse set of opinions and thought on that. But for all of you guys to have not liked it, it was like really surprising that everybody disliked it. Because Alex likes everything. I like Alex a lot, but Alex likes everything. He likes some stuff that I look at and go, really? Matt and I don't always agree, but Matt and I tend to agree probably more than we disagree because Matt and I have very similar tastes in movies and stuff. And I like that about Matt. And so that, in the end, I enjoyed the film. Yeah, it was very flawed and nowhere near as good as the other films. But by far, it's just like pizza to me. It's like I had bowling alley pizza, that night that Scott blew out my ears. Was it very No, it was bowling alley pizza. It had that crust that came frozen, didn't like that. But I ate it and I'm like, you know what? It's still pizza. I still ate it. I still enjoyed it. It just wasn't as good as like a real New York or Chicago pizza. Just didn't like it either, but she had to leave. Oh, Jude didn't, was 4 of 4 here. Gotcha. Alex hates the Goonies. Yeah, he'll never be a friend with me.
I think this has to do with the Bowling alley pizza coming.
Yeah, had someone try to flag us before we had an opinion they didn't like. That's just stupid. That's stupid. I don't agree with a lot of people, and I'm not gonna flag them. I love my friends. Monkey today, I'm just like, come on, dude, come on, man. I still love Monkey. I love him. And I don't care if you guys. I love you guys over at Salty. You guys are awesome.
Look who's here. Say his name.
Boosh.
Where? Oh, there he is. Okay, Bush McFadden. Yeah, and by the way, I got that private message from you. Your dinner looked really good. That's the way I want to eat. I've been trying to get that chef service to where they deliver dinners, just the dinners. So I don't mind cooking, but I love these healthy dinners they put out. And that was a healthy looking dinner. And you had 2 main courses there. You had 2 servings of protein. It was really good. So, Donnie Pearson's here too, man. What's up? Oh, you may not make things convenient for yourself, but I will say that you also lie to yourself because you argued the point of it wasn't successful, and I proved it was successful. So you were wrong. Clearly wrong. But it doesn't mean we can't love each other. Because we do. I don't know if you love me, but I love you, Monkey. I think you're awesome. And you messaged me enough. I know he messaged me enough that I think we're good friends. Adam was complaining about it. You two talk too much.
Jealous.
You talk to him more than you talk to me. But I like Monkey. I like Bush. I talk to Bush privately a lot. I talk to a lot of these guys privately. It's like I know you guys are the audience for this show, but I don't really. You're an active audience. You're a part of the show. You're part of what we do here.
Hey, Matt, I'm going right after this show. Well, about 30 minutes after this show.
I don't know what I feel about that movie because when I heard that the writers intentionally emasculated the main character, I'm like, do I really want to watch that?
It's getting really good reviews from people I trust. So,
the 2 drunk Irish and Scotsman, critical drinker, and I just forgot his name, the Irishman.
Cullen, Dave Cullen.
Yeah,
Dave Cullen. What did they say?
Because
they're the only 2 critics I really listen to.
I always listen to other gamers, other D&D players.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust the gamer to review D&D. Movie. I trust them because they understand story structure like I do. And they understand how to break down a film the way I do. That's why I like watching their reviews because, they get it. Shad likes it. Shad who? Who's Shad?
Diversity?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who do you mean by Shad Bush?
And there's Fat Steven. Lurking in the chat.
I'm thinking that might just be some internet nonsense about the emasculating thing, Gary. Maybe not. I think it was a mistake. It was the writers that supposedly said it.
Yep.
Oh, Shadiversity. Okay, that is what he was talking about. Okay. Fat Steven not on the show, but in the chat. Oh, man. So, I don't know, Matt. I hope so. I will watch it, but I'm hesitant to spend my money until I find out by somebody that I trust before I go putting my money into something.
Yeah, and I saw that about Joe, about him working on the Dragon. It's a Dragonlance series. It's not a movie. It's a series.
There's no excuse, Stephen. Watch this. He's going to get all defensive.
Come on, let it be, man.
No, I can't help it. I got to mess with Stephen even in the chat. I love Stephen. He knows that. But anyway,
I just hope they do Tesla Burfoot right.
no. Did you see the photo that he released with his D&D buddies?
Yeah.
He had was it Weiss or Benioff? One of the Game of Thrones guys was in his crew that plays D&D. And then over on the left was another big name, and I can't remember who the hell it was, but I'm like, wait a minute, is that who I think it is? It's a big star, and I'm like, holy shit, he's in that group.
Yeah, a lot of Hollywood plays D&D now.
Yeah, but that his group in particular had this crew. It's a great photo. Great photo. I love that.
Joe
and that he's going to be doing his own D&D movie. I'm looking forward to that.
Dragonlance is going to be a series.
Dragonlance series.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's too big. Dragonlance is too big. Even just taking the first 3 books, it's too big of a subject to do in just a single movie.
Mike is here, by the way, back from this morning, the Comic Relief Crusader. I'm going to start having him on the. He's going to be our MC on Saturdays. It'll be fun, and which means I got to give him lists of what we're going to talk about it, and he's going to be the one that's going to interact with me that way. It'll be fun. I like having him on because he's already the announcer, for the show. So having him as the ongoing MC announcer for the show live is going to be fun. So, Fast Steven, put your gaming on hold for one day and do it on Tuesdays. You can get the fuel up monies. That's true. He could be, he'd have that sponsorship. Fuel up. Yummy. I got my fuel up hat. F you. I love Anima so much. She's so awesome, but she hates this. She's like, I do not find that funny. So I told her this morning, I said, that's why we got to get you to America and work on that sense of humor. Then you'll find it funny. Oh, I know, because they're bigger and better than us. I'm very excited. I shared out their first show, WDW Pro. I'm excited they got their YouTube channel going. I do want to get them on. Talk about some of this stuff. And you're waiting for the casting news? Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some fan casting that was actually pretty good, spot on. Although nobody bothered to cast Tasselhoff, which is going to be a hard character to cast.
Yeah. And I forgot, what is his name? Joe
Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello. Yeah. I got to find that photo.
You almost said it like
Mangina. Yeah.
Well, he's not the only True Blood cast member who's a big D&D player. Deborah Ann Woll, who also plays Karen Page on Daredevil.
Yeah.
Is a huge
by the way,
D&D
I saw that Charlie Cox has said she is back.
Oh.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. All right, I found the picture. I was really shocked by this photo. I really was. Oh, they're going to make me do this. I really do hate these web images thing. It's just a JPEG, but they're putting a new into it. And if you change the JPG to, or the WPD or whatever they call it, to JPG, it doesn't work. But you have to open it in another photo program and save it again.
Just open it in Paint and save as. That's all I do.
That's all it does.
Takes a couple of seconds. I'm done.
Here we go. I'm going to do it real quick here.
Yeah, it's for web media or web picture.
Well, they're doing it. It's Google doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's Google trying to keep people from doing what we're doing, sharing pictures. Like it's going to stop us. It doesn't stop us. It just annoys us.
It slows down the normies.
Well, you can always install a plugin in your browser to download as JPG. That's what I did.
I haven't bothered to look. You'll have to send me that link to the plugin. Is it for Chrome?
Yeah, for Chrome.
Send me a
There you
link
go.
for the
For
plugin.
Chromium.
Yeah.
See?
Hey, look, that's
Whoa.
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is the one I'm talking about. I couldn't believe he's sitting there. I'm like, holy shit, Vince Vaughn? That's fucking cool.
I want to be at that table.
Oh yeah.
That's a cool table.
And I don't know which one he is, but that's one of the showrunners from Game of Thrones on the right there. The thumb up. That's a cool photo, man. Joe Mangina.
and Vin Diesel's still running his D&D games. The guy that plays the captain on Picard, he plays in 3 D&D games a month.
I love it when Fat Steven wants to yell. He does all caps. Work. That's it. Yep. Yep. That's it right there, Steve. I want to read the Chronicles book again now. You know, speaking of Vin Diesel, I'm a big fan of the Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, I like that series.
Me too.
I got that game. I love that game where you can have modifications to you so you can see in the dark and shit.
Well, there are 2 of them.
I played the first one on Xbox. I love that game.
Yeah, I've actually got the Chronicles book on my reread after they announced. I put it in my Kindle for reread because of the announcement that Joe Manganiello is going to be doing the Dragonlance series. He also had a big 50th anniversary announcement that I haven't had a chance to watch yet for the 50th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons.
Right.
This Dragonlance series is with who is making it? Amazon or Universal? Who?
I don't know who's making it yet, but he's working directly with Wizards of the Coast. So it's going to be an official.
Okay. I don't know about that.
Yeah, well, there are still a few people at Wizards of the Coast that don't have their head up their butts. There's not quite as many as there used to be. There's still a few.
Be prepared for Dragon Woke.
I'm expecting it to have some woke stuff in it, but I don't think Manganiello is going to allow too much woke stuff in it. He won't. I don't think he'll allow the woke to overwrite what the story is.
Yeah. Wizards of the Coast, I agree with you, dude. I agree with you. There's no woker company. And, there's no money in it.
Yeah. Vox Machina is an excellent example. All the people that create that show are woke. But there's hardly any woke stuff in Vox Machina.
So I guess we go on to the next part of the show, which I want to talk about this because I want to talk about on one of the Saturday mornings in the future because I've got shows planned out all the way through to July 4th weekend.
Are you up to July already?
Yeah.
You were June last time I looked.
I've got them up to July because I've also included the NBC Mystery Night movie, which includes all the shows from Banachek to Columbo, because there were 2 nights. A lot of people don't know this. There were 2 nights. It was Sundays and Wednesday. And Sundays you had McLeod. It started with McLeod. Well, first it started with Columbo. Then they added McLeod and McMillan and wife. And then eventually Heck Ramsey.
What about Cannon?
And then
or is that a different network?
Cannon wasn't part of that.
Okay.
And then on Wednesdays, they had other shows, but the big one was Banachek with George Papard. It was a hit. And I have all of them. I have every episode of Columbo all the way up to 2003 when he did the final one. And I love Columbo. And he went through a weird period, like in season 8, that's got some esoteric moments that are like, are we moving into the surreal here with Columbo?
Actually,
season 8 was odd. What?
I'll respond in the chat. I don't want to.
Whoosh? Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
Boosh.
typing about that. Buck's not gay. He's in love with Kiki.
Yeah.
He's that guy I made fun of back in high school when I said, I won't say the guy because I know him still to this day. I said, dude, that dude would fuck a snake if somebody hold its head still for him.
Oh, that's a Scanlan.
I knew a guy in school that was like that, man. He had just zero ethics when it came to sex.
Yeah.
I wonder if Scanlan count the dragon because the way
Scanlan isn't bi, he's trisexual. He'll try anything.
He'll try anything. That's right. That's what I keep saying. He's not bi, he's trisexual because he'll go interspecies. He doesn't care. As long as it's consensual with him. I know it needs to be consensual.
Yeah.
But here we go. I want to talk about this latest news. Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest mistakes that Cartoon Network shows, they showed their cards with who they were when they canceled Venture Brothers in favor of starting Hawk Girl.
What?
Or
Hawk
Bird Girl. Bird Girl.
What, the daughter of like Birdman?
Yeah. Just
I hadn't seen it. I'm like, okay, that's why Venture
nobody
Brothers
watched
canceled?
Because it was woke crap. And it's like, look, man, you can tell when things are good or when things are bad by if people bother to go see it. And nobody bothered watching that show. And they got 2 seasons
Keith.
despite low viewership. That tells you a lot too. When you start seeing the doubling down on bad ideas, and then you get the whole Rick and Morty thing, where they finally agree to give them 1 billion years, okay, and then immediately follow that up with preparing to fire him, because I think they were hooking up to fire him early. They wanted to get rid of him, and they found a way by using this thing. But then it gets thrown out of court, and now they're left on the hook for what they did. Like, why'd you fire him?
Yeah.
But I enjoyed Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, was a fun show. I enjoyed that show. Hey, did you get that thing I sent you? Some of the crazy shit. Fred being like the Sopranos, Fred Flintstone. That show was crazy. I enjoyed the crap out of that. And that's where you can say, instead of Harvey Birdman, you say Birdman. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. You can get away with it.
Well, so Keith, how are you doing?
No, the fact is, fans craved it, and that's why they kept doing it. It would take years. We got how many seasons do we get out of it? And the show started when Zoe was like 4. She was between 3 and 4, and she was a teenager when they got to like the 6th season.
It's like Red Dwarf.
Yeah, it just took forever to get to it. But they had a fan base, and Cartoon Network, Adult Swim understood that. But then they just did what they did. And it's like, you want to have them speed it up, give them a bigger budget. That's one way of speeding up the process. But
yeah.
So there you go. By the way, Keith is here. Keith popped in. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
I'm excited about seeing the Venture Brothers movie, and
me too, man.
I really think that it's a big mistake not to give those guys more money. After all these years, no scandals, nothing gone sideways,
nothing.
And these guys are about as I don't want to say squeaky clean, but come on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, there's no Twitter, blowback. There's, these guys have put out consistent product from day one. The only thing not consistent with them is the schedule. And I blame that on not throwing enough money at them.
Yeah.
Because they have to find cheaper ways of doing what they do.
Well, now they're so used to it that, as they said in an interview, it would have been better at the beginning.
There's no evidence of drugs. There's no evidence to that. I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
I think it's Jeebus being Jeebus.
Yeah, there's no evidence to that. I don't proclaim anything unless I know something. That's
some
not
of those
a thing.
Venture Brother episodes, somebody was on drugs.
Well,
Look,
I mean,
when it comes to writing, some of the best episodes of South Park, when they were being interviewed by students at a film school, they were being asked, like, what inspired you to do this? And he goes, LSD. We were stoned. We were high. That was drugs.
I just think what you have are two guys who are completely in sync. And that even if you were to give them enough money to hire a room, I think it's way too late in the process to bring anybody else in, because those guys have a shorthand when they create. As they said in a recent interview, and recent by last year, that it would just be too much. So now they're used to working the way that they're working, which means taking a long time is going to be a part of whatever process going forward. I just think that you got to show these guys that they're loved, and by you guys I mean really.
Well, they should have forced Doc Hammer to get an actual writing staff. That was another thing, because I remember back in 2014, there was a fan ran into Doc Hammer and posted about this shit. And he said, I ran into Doc Hammer, and Doc Hammer's like, yeah, I'm still writing season 6. And he goes, that was a full year after season 5 had ended.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's going on here? And so we've never really gotten an explanation. All we know is that there's nothing controversial going on behind the scenes. There's no controversy with these guys, with Doc Hammer or his team. But I think that the problem was that there's bad management, maybe. Because we saw that with John Cascafalusa, who is big old perv.
Well, and the guys behind South Park. But the thing with that is that early on in that process, they started bringing in other people. And so they've gotten used to working with a lot of people on that show. I think things have progressed to such a state that I'm not saying you can't have other people come in. It's just the fact that it's going to affect the rhythm of the show. It'll help them
and there
speed
were
up.
crazy delays on that show.
Yeah.
It's like 2-3 years go by, finally get a new season. Oh, we get a movie, and then we got to wait another few months, and we finally get some new episodes.
Yeah.
And the shows were always good. Every single episode was good.
Mm-hmm.
But
so to me, I'm willing to take the long periods if it keeps the quality of the show up.
Well, somebody brought up Red Dwarf. Same thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what they're talking about now for. They're talking about that now for. Oh man. House of the Dragon. It's going to take a little longer, but I mean,
yeah, we're going to go a whole year without getting anything.
Although to me, I hope it does take a while, because that means we'll be getting new episodes of House of the Dragon around the same time that Amazon decides to finally put out new episodes of their show. And I hope they do it to them again by waiting until just about a week before they premiere on Amazon and dropping House of the Dragon right before.
We have a guest.
Matt Vader.
Hello, Gary. How you doing?
How you doing, buddy? I love you, man. I hope
you know Monarch.
I absolutely love you. You're one of my favorite people.
I agree with you about Dr. Girlfriend. That's just
makes me.
Dr. Girlfriend is one of my favorite cartoon characters ever.
Hot.
You see this hot chick start talking like this.
Oh, Monarch, you make me so horny.
I know.
It's almost Harvey Feinstein.
What are your thoughts on finally getting this movie, Matt?
What's that? What?
That we're finally moving towards the that it's in the can, according to reports.
Okay.
This was covered by several magazines, online magazines, including a website I don't like, comicbook.com, because I think they're a bunch of see you next Tuesdays.
Oh yeah.
But
high class of a
Yeah,
high
they're
caliber
so
journalism
classy.
over there.
Yeah. But Venture Brothers is currently en route with a new movie project meant to serve as the grand finale for the long-running Adult Swim original animated series. And according to the new update by the Venture Brothers movie, it's actually already in the can.
Nice. That's cool. I actually got to
Yeah.
catch up on the last couple seasons. So
I got to tell you, man, not one season has ever been disappointing to me.
No.
They have gone out on the limb with some of the craziest plots. When
Mhm.
they included Johnny Quest in the show and characters
Mhm.
from Johnny Quest, changing the name slightly. You know,
That's what I love about that show.
I
man.
was just like a parody within a parody.
Well,
It's
the
been a while.
moment-
It's been a while since I've seen it. I think I might have to go back and just rewatch the whole run.
Well, and actually, and honestly, what Mikey just said, they were canceled by their own network.
Mhm.
The delays wasn't why they got canceled. It's because they, certain people that were in charge there at Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, were very, very woke.
Pre-Zasloff.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how that Bird Girl series got started, because it's just not
jeez.
funny. I watched the first 2 episodes, and this is my face, Matt. Are you ready? Every joke.
Yep.
Nothing.
I didn't even know it existed.
And by the way, I want to bring up a show that I recommend everybody give a try to, because it took, I think, 4 episodes before it got funny.
Thank you.
Somebody giving directions?
Yeah.
Oh, that's you, Keith. Okay. Oh, that's Mel. Okay.
Anyway, but it's again, the thing about that show is that you had Johnny Quest, but you also had this direction that they took with having famous musicians also in the show as villains. So I mean, when you have someone like, say, Freddie Mercury pop up, or really David Bowie.
Yep.
And I mean, who thinks of stuff like that? And on top of all of that, makes it funny,
I think that's why I always have liked the show, because you never know what they're going to come up with. It's just such strange, bizarre stuff that you just kind of scratch your head and you go,
yeah, when
okay.
they got the Avengers building, it was like they were going into a whole new area with the storylines. All of a sudden, the kids were their own identity now, because they can't be replaced anymore. The clones are all gone. So these kids can't get killed anymore, which was a great joke for a long time, that these kids had no idea that each time they died, they were replaced by a new clone.
Yeah, these are spoilers for those that haven't seen the show, but come on, guys, it's been a few years, so
it's been a few years. Yeah.
But I was going to recommend something to you here, Matt. This show right here, Animal Control.
Okay.
It is a new sitcom, or sort of a sitcom. It's not really a sitcom, but it is a comedy. It's really not funny for the first handful of episodes. And then all of a sudden, I forget his name, the Indian actor, comedian, writer, director from Broken Lizard directed an episode. And all of a sudden, I found myself laughing out loud watching the show. And from that point on, it's actually been very enjoyable.
I will add it to the list of things
I got another one for you. Agent Elvis on Netflix.
I've still not gotten more than 10 minutes in. You and I talked about, well, you yelled at each other. I was telling people about you and me at the bowling alley that night. You're like, I really like that show. Me too. What? Me too.
I love the fact that it's Priscilla doing it, that she's
And
behind
Matthew
it.
McConaughey is Elvis. Doesn't sound like him at all, but it's still cool.
But it works. All of it works. And for me, it's just having Priscilla be a part of it and be part of the cast on top of that, and portraying her, basically playing herself, voicing her own character, aka Scylla. I love the whole thing. It's it's almost like a weird kind of, I don't know. It's almost like an animated version of what Elvis's life was right around 1969, 1970. As if Quentin Tarantino was doing it, but it's animated and very weird.
Yeah.
Got my brain running gears up here.
I'm going to share the screen here real quick, just for a second. This episode right here, directed by I can't pronounce that guy's last name.
Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, that guy from, Super Troopers and all that. He directed that episode, Dogs and Bears and Minks, oh my. Absolutely a good episode. Absolutely.
All right. I'll put it on the list.
What do you know? Monkey Jeebus is another of our producers now.
5 minutes. But, yeah, what do you want to add, Matt? You popped on for a reason.
No, I just popped in because you were asking me to earlier, and I'm free for a few minutes now. I missed you guys. I did.
I like when you.
I thought you were gonna torch me on our Wick 4 take, but you didn't. I think you're kind of with us a little bit. So.
I'm with you on some of this stuff, but I still think it's a good film. I just don't think it's great.
Like I said, I think it's a parody of itself. It turned into a Chick Wick movie.
I can
all those
see
terrible
that
ones
in there, in the ending, because apparently they shot 2 different endings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say what they were because I don't want to spoil it. But they shot 2 different endings, and they went with the one that kind of surprises me. And when they did that, I went, "This is Universal, Peacock, NBC.
Yeah,
that's dictating where to go."
Yeah,
and
you could
felt
really
like
tell
that movie was for them.
You could tell that they were setting up this TV series.
Yep,
for sure.
So it just felt like we don't want a competition films franchise. We need this to end. What I think what it came down to, and so there you go. Because John Wick Keanu said that he would continue playing this as long as fans want to see it.
Yeah.
Even though it was funny when a fan said to him at one event, they said, "You just don't age." He goes, "Oh, I'm aging. I feel everything."
Yeah.
He goes, "Don't think that I'm not aging. I'm aging." So you got to love that. I love Keanu, man. But he's got more stuff coming. I love the fact that we're going to get his comic book turned into, I think it's a live action film too, right?
Berserker.
Yeah, Berserker. Is that going to be live action or are going to do animation? Because I'd love to see a live action version with him in it.
And who would be Berserker? Him?
Him, of course. He's going to be the executive producer on it.
Him and his plethora of stunt doubles, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he knows when to use stunt doubles, like Jackie Chan.
I'm telling you.
I think it was pretty apparent in this movie that he has stunt doubles.
Yep.
That was one of the things I didn't like, is that you could really tell when it wasn't him. So
I think one of the few moments that impressed me, even though I didn't like the Arc de Triomphe scene at all, it was ridiculous because that traffic would stop after the first accident. And that scene where he spins and then he's right there in the camera.
Insane.
Yeah.
I did not appreciate how they just went full Fast and Furious comic book nonsense with this.
It went too over the top.
I'm sorry about that. There was something about the first couple movies that there was a realism to it.
Later, Courtney.
But it still wasn't. You know what I mean? It was kind of a surrealistic realism. I don't know how the word I'm really looking for is, but in this movie they just go full superhero. It's like I said in our review, he might as well have a tights and a cape on his back now, and it's stupid. And then the comic stuff where he goes up to the steps and falls back down, and it's just
I kept going. Enough. Jesus Christ!
Enough.
Stop! Let him get up there, for God's sake. I was frustrated by the stairs scene. As fun as it was at first, I'm just like, this is going on too long.
Mm-hmm.
And
you could say that about the whole movie.
Yep. Yeah,
I won't.
That's one thing I liked about the first movie. It was 94 minutes long or something like that.
That
And
movie shouldn't have been more than 2 hours.
It was perfect.
really
It was perfect. Yeah,
it should have been under 2 hours. The ending, I'm okay with the ending. I actually am. I'm like, I'd rather see an ending to this than to see somebody bastardize a character I like.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Alex and I looked at each other when we got done, because neither one of us, I think, were expecting that ending. But we looked at each other and said, if they're going to go this dumb of a route with where they're going, I'm glad it's over. And at least we got a full story, and he had his moment. So yeah,
he had his.
I'm okay with it.
It ended the way he wanted it to end. The character, the character, he needed that. If you want to call it a happy ending, he needed his happy ending.
Well, it ended the only way that it could, given the setup. I think ultimately, I'm just glad that in 9 years, we got 4 movies that built an incredible world in a very short amount of time for a much cheaper price overall than what has been spent on other film series that have gone 4 films and have tried to do many of the same things. I mean, think about it. None of the previous 3 films were made for. They were all made for less than $100 million. And so to get to the 4th film in the series, to spend $100 million and be able to achieve all that they achieved, and having a film that, again, in my opinion, is one of the best looking films of the year, if not the best looking film of the year so far. They should have some kind of a Tom Cruise award for an actor that just goes all out and is very cognizant of.
Look, you've got these. I got to wrap up where the show's over. And because we got to end when KGRA needs us to end. So this is the wrap up, guys. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's fun talking. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about Julian Sands and some of his projects that he's worked on in honor of him, because I don't think we're ever going to find him. I don't think it's going to happen. It'll probably happen after I'm gone that they finally find him. I don't think he survived. It's bad weather where he's at. And once you got past 3 weeks, it's like, oh, yeah, this isn't looking good. So we're going to dedicate tomorrow to talking about Julian Sands and his career and some of his great movies that we liked, from Warlock to Boxing Helena. It's going to be a fun show, despite it being sad, too. Somber. But thanks, everybody, for being here. We enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. And I guess that's it, Bill. Wrap it up, man.
Those sons of bitches.
Ma, I'm doing a show.